So the other day I was at the park, and just to lay the story for you a little bit, it was one of those parks where it was just a small grass field in the middle of the city. And it's one of those parks where at certain hours in the day, it sort of turns into an off-leash dog park, right? People from the apartment buildings nearby come down, take their dog out on a walk, and then get to the park, they unclip the leash, and their dogs are running around, playing with each other and stuff like that. And I was at this park, and I was just watching everything. I was watching the dogs, I was watching the people, and I was just observing. And then this one gentleman came in, and he had a Samoyed, right? And Samoyeds, you know, those big, white, fluffy dogs, they kind of catch your attention. And not only that, but the Samoyed was also wearing a muzzle, was also on a harness, was also on a flexi leash. And this was most peculiar to me. And so I was just watching this Samoyed and his owner and trying to think about what he was going to do here, right? What his plan was. And to my surprise, he walked straight into the middle of the park, straight to the middle, where all the other off-leash dogs were. And I was baffled for a bit, and I was just watching what was about to go down here. And whenever a dog got too close or up in his space, the Samoyed would act in defensive aggression. So he would bark, lunge back at the other dog, and to keep the dog away out of his space, right? And I was just watching this happen, right? And I couldn't even believe what I was seeing here. But this man, he really brought his dog out on a flexi leash in the middle of the park. Other dogs were around. Whenever his dog went at another dog, he would attempt to punish his behavior by scolding him, right? So he would scold his dog, no, don't do that, right? And then he would grab the flexi leash and he would try to correct the dog on the harness, and he would put the dog into a sit, and then it would happen again, inevitably, right? And I was just watching this, and it kind of, I kind of had to take a step back a little bit, and I was thinking to myself, what is his goal? What is he trying to accomplish here? And I want you to think about, what do you think his goal was in this situation? What do you think he was trying to achieve? So after thinking about this for a little while, I came to the conclusion that I believe his goal was to teach his dog that other dogs didn't matter, right? That he should be okay with being around other dogs. I believe that was his goal. Now, his goal is the thing you're trying to achieve, and the plan is how you intend to achieve it. And in this situation, his goal was okay, but his plan was riddled with holes, right? It was just a flawed plan, and probably not due to anything malicious, right? He probably wasn't trying to, do these things to his dogs intentionally, but I believe that his goal was fine, but his plan was flawed. And what was interesting about this is his plan, the thing he was actually doing, would help him achieve the exact opposite of his goal. The exact opposite. This plan was suited to achieve the exact opposite of the goal he was intending to achieve, right? And once I saw this, it got me thinking a little bit. And the reason why I'm making this video right now for you guys is to highlight the importance of having clear goals and plans to support those goals. Because in dog training and in life, it's really important to set out with intent, to set out to achieve an objective and to have a plan or to have some type of, protocol or have some type of course of action to achieve that goal, right? In dog training and in life, right? Let me give you another example, just to highlight this in maybe a little bit of a different way. I had this client who came to me, and we met up for the free evaluation, right? And she had 2 German Shepherds. And at the evaluation, I was looking at both dogs. We met up at a park, we walk around, and I get to see all the problems with the dog, and I get to talk to the owners. And both of her dogs were reactive for different reasons, and both of the dogs lacked control, right? She wasn't able to control her dogs around other competing motivators. And it was just complete lack of obedience, right? And I asked her, what is your goal? What are you trying to achieve? And she told me that her dream was to be able to walk both dogs off leash. That was her dream. And when I heard that, my eyes kind of lit up a little bit, right? I became a little bit excited because as a trainer, I love working with people who have goals with their dogs, who have dreams, who have a life that they're trying to live with them, who have something that they're working towards to accomplish, right? That's the best thing. And when I heard that, got a little excited, right? And so I'm asking, okay, what have you been doing to try to achieve that, right? What have you worked with other trainers in the past? Like what training system are you following now? What are you doing on a daily basis with your dogs, right? What have you done to solve this, right? And so on. I started asking these questions. And she informed me that for the past 2 years, she had been doing only positive reinforcement training. Only positive reinforcement training. Now, I'm not bashing positive reinforcement training here, okay? That's not the point. She had been doing only positive reinforcement training for her dogs. And she explained to me how what she was currently doing, her current plan and her goal, the current plan she had, she felt was getting her further away from her goal. And she couldn't see how she could achieve this goal with this current plan. That's why she came to us, right? Because what we do, if you don't know, what we do is we help people train their dogs to be off leash. And so she came to us for help, looking for a plan, looking for a different plan. And so we started training, and 3 to 4 months later, both of her dogs are off leash trained. Why? Why did that happen so fast? The reason why it happened so quickly is because her goals and our goals were the same. We were trying to accomplish the same thing. And the plan that we put in place has been proven to work with many other dogs and many other owners. So we put that into place to achieve those goals. And we did. That's why, right? So there's something that example, the reason why I'm telling it to you, is because sometimes if you are out training your dog, the goals that you have for your dog might not be the goals your trainer has for your dog, right? They might not be the same. Let me give you another example. I remember I met up with this Chow Chow, okay? It was this owner and their Chow Chow. And we met up for the free evaluation. And their Chow Chow was...
Hey man, just let you know we close in like 5 minutes.
Okay, I'll get out of here.
Thank you.
Yep. And their Chow Chow was, sorry, that was just the park ranger telling me we have 5 minutes to finish this video, all right? So, anyways, that's right. I met up with this Chow Chow at this free evaluation, right? And the owners were telling me how he'd become reactive towards other dogs. And I saw the reactivity around other dogs at this park when we were walking around. And they were telling me how I asked, okay, what are you trying to achieve with this dog, right? What's your goal? What are you trying to accomplish? And they explained to me that their goal was to be able to take him to dog parks and have him be friendly with other dogs, right? He had been fighting other dogs at the dog park and, getting into it with other dogs, and now he'd become reactive towards other dogs. And their goal was to have him to be friendly with other dogs so they could take him to the dog park and so on. And when I heard that goal, I was like, I don't think that's a good goal for this dog. I don't think that's a good goal. I don't think this is a goal that you should be striving for. And I explained my reasoning. First off, he's a Chow Chow. He's not a Golden. He wasn't bred to be social towards other dogs, right? He's actually bred to be quite aloof towards strangers and dogs he doesn't know. Chow Chows tend to also be quite dominant. And so these dominance behaviors that you see towards other dogs, this isn't something that you're going to be able to fix through some little training program or through a little, technique here and there. Like, he's going to exhibit this behavior when he encounters strange dogs that he doesn't know, right? And that's just the reality of it. You have a Chow Chow. You don't have a golden retriever, right? This is not a dog park kind of dog. And I didn't say it exactly like that, but regardless, they didn't end up training with me. Why? Because our goals didn't align. We weren't trying to achieve the same thing. And it wouldn't have worked out even if they decided to train with me, right? Because we weren't trying to achieve the same thing. And so it's really important that if you are training your dog, you think about what you want for your dog. What life do you want to live with them? Not the life that social media tells you should live with your dog, or your parents say you should live with your dog, or your neighbor, or whatever. What life do you want to live? What things do you want to do with your dog? Think about that, right? How do you want to live? And find a training system that aligns with your goals, that fits it, right? So just to go back a little bit about the positive reinforcement people, right? And this isn't a video bashing positive reinforcement people. I'm not getting into this debate at all, okay? I have no problem with positive reinforcement trainers. Here's the thing though. What you have to understand about these positive reinforcement trainers, like when you see their posts I see them online, and I see the comments, and I see people in the comments like ripping them apart, like, oh, like this doesn't even work. Like, once you take the treats away, your training's gonna fall apart. Like, let's see you take the leash off. Like, let's see this dog around some actual distractions for once. Like, I see all these comments on other people's posts, right? And what you have to understand, guys, about positive reinforcement trainers is you have to understand their goal. Understand their goal. For most positive reinforcement trainers, their goal is to train a dog using only positive reinforcement. It's not their goal to have a dog that is 100% obedient, off leash, that you can do off leash healing with around other dogs and like all of this stuff, right? That's not their goal. That's not what they're trying to achieve. You understand what I'm saying? And so to go in their comments and type all of this stuff, it doesn't make any sense. That's not what they're aiming for. That's not what they're trying to achieve, right? And on the flip side too, I see some people in my comments, right, who we're walking dogs off leash, we're training them to be off leash, we're using the e-collar, all this stuff. And then you see people, you shouldn't use the e-collar, you should just be using food, positive reinforcement training, can do this, whatever. And that's not the goal, right? And so you've got to understand, like you've got goals and you've got plans. And you've got to try to look, like when you look at things, when you're watching trainers online, when you're, trying to find information, when you're looking for a trainer to work with in person or whatever, understand what their goals are. Understand what your goals are. Set your own goals and find one that aligns with you. Find a plan that is hopefully proven, that has worked with other people and other dogs, that makes sense to you, that's simple, that's practical, that you can do with your dog, and do that, right? And you'll probably get closer to your goal. And this doesn't just apply in dog training, it also applies in life, right? But I'll leave that for another video, or for you to figure out, right? Because I think the park ranger is gonna kick me out here any second now, all right? So hopefully this video just illuminates a little bit for you the importance about setting clear goals and having a plan in place to execute those goals, right? So hopefully this helps you out, and I'll see you in the next one.